We're back with Chaim, and you're going to explain to us on Born Before 64 the different synagogues of the past, right? And Newport, Rhode Island is in the United States. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, this is a national monument in the United States in Newport, Rhode Island, the oldest synagogue in the States. It was established in the 18th century, before the establishment of the United States, by Jews who went to this country because of the tolerance that they could not enjoy in other parts of New World. I mean, in Caribs and South America, where they were persecuted by the Inquisition and the Spanish colonial regime.
Who established the genealogy center here in Israel?
The Genealogy Center Bet Atfutzot was established by Mr. Douglas E. Goldman of San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Back in the 80s.
In the 1980s.
At the time, it was the first Jewish genealogy center anywhere in the world.
Oh, wow. That's
and the first who started storing family trees in a digital format.
Okay. All right.
We are the first in the Jewish world and probably among the first 5 anywhere in the world.
Right.
Back in the 80s.
So let's walk over to the next one that's in the United States. And this was done by Frank Lloyd Wright, I think.
Right.
Am I correct?
Right.
I'm beginning to know my history here. Okay.
Yeah, this is a synagogue in Elkins Park in Pennsylvania.
Uh-huh.
A masterpiece of architecture. The only synagogue designed by the architect. And the only synagogue with a parking lot in Bet Atfutzot.
A what? Say that again now?
The only synagogue with a parking lot in Bet Atfutzot.
Oh, wow.
No, this is important because this is a conservative synagogue.
Conservative synagogue.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And people may choose to travel, to drive to the synagogue on holidays, something that is not allowed to Orthodox Jews, any other synagogues shown in this exhibition.
Okay. Why don't we go and see some of the other countries that are involved in the actual exhibit, because they're so beautiful. I just want to walk past and let them see them, okay? Chaim, would you tell us what this is? Is a ceiling? Go ahead.
Yes, please. This is a reconstruction of the ceiling of a wooden synagogue in Chodorov, Galicia, once part of Poland, before that of Austria, and now in Western Ukraine. It was done in early 18th century, and is one of the few examples that survived, based and was reconstructed based on photographs and descriptions. The synagogue itself was destroyed in the Holocaust by the Germans in 1942. And what you see here, it's a good example of Jewish folklore art, depicting themes from Jewish folklore, and also interpretations of Hebrew text and prayer books. You may see that there are no human figures anywhere because of the prohibition in Judaism of showing humans. There are only examples of fauna and flora. And the buildings that you see just in front of us and look very much like Russian churches.
They do.
They represent Jerusalem. This
Jerusalem.
is the Eastern world. People who prayed here never went to Jerusalem, had no idea how actually Jerusalem looked like, but in their minds this was Jerusalem, and this is the way they prayed Eastern world towards Jerusalem.
Wow, that's gorgeous. The colors are so vibrant. I can't
Yes.
believe it.
Yes. This is the oldest synagogue in Europe that has not been changed. It looks like a medieval synagogue. And of course, this is a famous, the synagogue linked to the famous legend of the Golem of Prague, who, according to tradition, lived in the attic of this synagogue.
Now, why is everything below and not above?
Because Jews were not allowed to build higher buildings than churches.
Okay.
And on the other hand, Jews were required to have higher synagogues. So what they did, they dig, and from the outside, the building was not higher than the churches.
Right.
And from the inside was higher.
Okay.
So they
looked older. Okay.
And then they opened the arms and start praying the profundis from the abyss, we called you, and so on and so on.
Okay. All right. You want to go on? We're now looking at a synagogue from India.
Yeah, it's called Paradesi Synagogue, and it is in southern state of Kerala. in southwestern India.
Mm-hmm.
It was built in the 16th century.
Wow.
Yes, and it's still in use.
Still used. It's still
Yes.
in existence.
Yes, of course. And if by chance you travel to this place, you may enter the synagogue, visit, and of course, pray
Right.
there.
That's absolutely the most gorgeous piece. And you can see all of the tiny chandeliers. I mean,
Yeah,
they
lamps.
all look like that,
Yes.
right?
And the floor is made of china ware brought from China itself.
From China itself. Okay. We'll be right back in just a moment when we will go around and see some of the most beautiful parts of the museum and the history of the family unit.